Dude, he's ready. He is
Okay.
ready.
All right. Now we're recording. Now we can go.
3, 2, 1, go.
Go ahead.
Perfect. So yeah, like I said, my name's Sykora. I grew up in Wheaton, Minnesota. I wrestled at North Dakota State University underneath Coach Kish for 4 years. Coach Marsden my senior year. Grew up about an hour down the road from Fargo, so it was a very, very easy transition to Fargo for me. I was wrestling on their RTC quite a bit, probably for my junior and senior year of high school. Felt like home. Had a great relationship with Coach Kish. I won 5 state titles in the state of Minnesota. I was a 4-time national qualifier, Big 12 champ my senior year. Unfortunately, COVID was my senior year, so I guess I'm a COVID kid. But yeah, using that to kind of motivate my coaching career and just using that to kind of help kids realize that you never know when an opportunity can be taken from you. And when you have an opportunity, go out and seize the moment.
Yeah, I had a couple of buddies that were in that same situation. I graduated, my last year competing was the year before that. So thankfully I didn't have to deal with all that. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's something that you don't ever really get over, but it seems like you kind of have a good approach of, trying to turn that maybe negative thing in your life to a positive. So
Absolutely. Hey, there's a lot worse things that can happen in life. So gotta have a big picture approach with it.
Yeah. So you and Coach Marsden, you guys just got done with the home visit.
Absolutely. Trying to get these Oklahoma kids to the University of Oklahoma. Tackling
Yes.
home state.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I guess quick question. Well, first, how did it go?
Oh, went great. We're a great tag team. Look, big guy and a little guy. Perfect match.
Do you guys have any like weird at-home visit stories? Not necessarily weird, but anything interesting happen? Because I feel like sometimes you're going in these recruits' homes, and I don't know. I feel like sometimes kids these days, like they might not have cleaned their room, or there might be like a weird relative that's hanging out there. Maybe they're serving something for dinner that maybe you don't like.
Yeah, I guess I just started. I was the volunteer at North Dakota State University, so this is only about my 3rd or 4th home visit. But I know Coach Marsden probably has a good one, a pretty good one, I think.
Yes, I do have a funny moment. So right when I got to North Dakota State, Coach Kish and he's like, "Hey, let's hop on a road, do some home visits together, get to know each other some more." I said, "Absolutely, let's hit the road." Then after preparing the home visit, he asked me, "Hey, do they have dinner prepared for us?" I'm like, they never once mentioned anything about dinner. I said, "Okay." So we got there about an hour earlier. Then we just went to this like pizza buffet. We just loaded up on this pizza, salad bar. Like we ate till we were like uncomfortable. Then we drove 10 minutes. We get to the house, say hello, introduce ourselves. We go in the kitchen, and they had a full spread of food for us, ready to go, like a 5-course meal. And Coach Kish looked right at me, shook his head, and I knew he was me. I'm like, all right, round 2, let's go. But, we were just sitting there eating this food, and he's just taking one bite at a time with pain. I stopped eating. I felt super rude about it. Coach Kish just punched through it, kept going. And after the visit, we had another one to go to, or hit 2 back to back. And we stopped at the gas station to kind of just settle our stomachs down, relax, get out, move a little bit. He goes, "If there's another dinner prepared for us, you are walking back to Fargo." And I'm just thinking, I swear to God, if there's another deal or another meal, I'm in trouble. Luckily, they didn't have it, and I didn't hear the end of it from Coach Kish for a while. So we ate pretty heavily that day. To me, that's just another day. To him, he was struggling.
Yeah, that's kind of where you really have to throw down and show up if you're a heavyweight. It's like you got to prove you're a big guy and can eat, man.
Absolutely.
That's definitely that. Again, sounds like a learning moment.
It is. So from now on, I always ask, "You guys having dinner?" No worries. If you're not, just need to be prepared.
Did you end up getting the recruits?
No, but
should have had that.
We got a story from it. We got a story from it, though. Good memory.
Yeah, we'll take that. So you guys did you guys both get to Oklahoma at the same time?
Yes.
Yep, absolutely. Came in at the exact same day, kind of starting to get moved in. Coach Marsden's moved into his new place. I close on my place next Wednesday. So Coach Kish and I, we're at his place, bachelor pad right now, I like to call it.
That's awesome. How's that transition been?
been awesome. Love Oklahoma. Great people.
Yeah, what would you say is like,
Coming from Minnesota.
you cut out just for a second. Sorry, go ahead.
We're losing you,
Say
Cam.
that one more time. Sorry, you cut out a little bit.
We couldn't hear
We
your
lost
end
you.
either. We lost you for about 15 seconds.
No, just saying we loving the state of Oklahoma. Great people down here. Great wrestling. People are salt of the earth. Same values as kind of where I'm from, Minnesota, North Dakota. So really enjoying my time down here and getting to know different high school coaches, getting to know families. But yeah, loving my experience.
Yeah, I saw on Twitter you guys went to Bigsby. Ryan Blake, he's a really cool guy. He coached at Stanford for a while. I got to know him a little bit just because I wrestled at CSUB and Stanford, and CSUB would wrestle a few times. But I'm kind of from that area originally, so I kind of got to know him and Borelli and Tirapelli and those guys for a minute. But is it maybe like having those? I guess Coach Marsden having those Oklahoma connections kind of coming in. And you guys have a pretty tough battle, I'm sure, not just on the wrestling map, but just in recruiting with Oklahoma State. Talk about maybe just how your connections just in the state have kind of allowed you to maybe kind of get kind of just a feel for the recruiting down there in the state.
Well, one of the main reasons I was really excited about being at the University of Oklahoma is, hey, I get to rekindle the connections I made back in college and the friendships I have that are still here. And I'm going to do everything in my power to use that to my advantage and build more relationships deeper through their programs that they're coaching. Like all the guys I wrestled with, they're coaching at high schools now. They're in clubs. And, we hit the ground running as we got here, hit high schools up, going to club workouts, just really just establishing a firm grab on what we want to do at University of Oklahoma, and that's keep the best kids in the state of Oklahoma. I've seen it work before. I've been a part of a program that did that. I want to continue to do that at University of Oklahoma.
When you guys find out, you're going to Oklahoma, just looking ahead, I don't think you guys have posted your schedule for this upcoming season, right?
No, Pep, not yet. Well, it'll probably be out here pretty darn soon.
I bet you got some dates that you guys have marked down, because not only do you have this, connection now with Oklahoma State, now you have that rivalry already with Bedlam. But just coming from North Dakota State, are those two dates that you guys are pretty excited for?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think I believe North Dakota State and South Dakota State come back on the same days, and being a North Dakota State alumni, it'll be bittersweet. I love Fargo, love my alma mater, love Coach Blanc. He's gonna do a great job up there. So it'll be really cool wrestling them, and South Dakota State, I want to beat them. Always want to beat the rival. They'll always be a rival in my heart.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think I never wrestled at North Dakota State. I never wrestled in their arena, but I wrestled at Frost Arena, and that was a pretty cool spot, I think, to compete in. They have, I think, a pretty good atmosphere, at least when I was there, but that was back when Bono was coaching. When you guys see just coming in, my background, Oklahoma has a pretty good attendance record with duels, or they've had, in the past few years. Maybe talk about, just in terms of trying to build dual meets and trying to build like fan attendance. Do you guys have anything in the works just trying to build that group and make a production out of it? Or you guys, just based on the history, you guys normally have pretty good attendance anyways?
Sure, for sure. I think kind of what we were just talking about earlier. I think it starts with keeping Oklahoma kids at home. Oklahoma people want to watch people that they know wrestle. So our goal is to get as many Oklahoma kids as we possibly can, and produce a great team. People want to watch winning teams, and they want to watch kids that they know. So I think that kind of just goes back to that point, keeping the best kids in Norman, making Norman a great home for them. And I think that'll only help our attendance in the long run.
For sure. I kind of want to backtrack a sec. So when you guys first find out that Kish is leaving to Oklahoma and you guys are both at North Dakota State, what's kind of going through your minds?
Well, obviously it was a great opportunity for him to be in that position. And, he was very, very informative with what his decision was going to be throughout the whole process. And, he was asking if that's something he can see us sharing with him and of course having ties in Oklahoma and the relationships I made down here, I thought it was a great opportunity for myself selfishly. And of course, I've worked with Roger and at North Dakota State for 4 years. I know how he is, how he operates. He's a great mentor, great leader. And I just want to be a part of that on a larger scale.
Kind of same thing with me. I love my time in Fargo. I was there for 8 years. I grew up an hour down the road. It was a very difficult decision for me to go to Oklahoma. But I've known Coach Kish for so long, and I believe in what he's about. Like I said, I've known him since my sophomore year of high school. So I wanted to stick with Coach Kish and kind of at a bigger scale, like Coach Marsden said, and take both of our talents. I think Coach Marsden and I and Coach Kish work very, very well together. And we're excited to see what we can do at the University of Oklahoma.
That's awesome. What would you say, like, are you guys most excited about in terms of just the facility, the history, just everything that has been just with the program for so long? What are you guys like most excited about coaching now at Oklahoma?
I would say it's all of it. It's not just one specific thing. There's tradition, there's history, the resources here, and the support here is unmatched. So I'm just excited to really just get to work and just put a great product out there to get more supporters, to have more involvement in the community and with other supporters as well. So I just think it's a home run to have the opportunity here to accomplish those goals.
Yeah, for me, it just goes back to kind of what we're doing right now, cultivating these relationships with people inside the state. The recruiting process is probably my favorite part of the job. Identifying the talent in the state, identifying kids that fit our profile, and going after them hard, getting to know the kids and getting to know their families. I majored in business. So I love the sales pitch. I love that part of it. Just getting to know the kids and their families. And developing at the same time, developing kids in the room, and helping them reach their goals, is what I'm really excited about.
Do you feel like with the transfer portal, like it's kind of changed, maybe your perspective on recruiting at all? And then maybe even just bigger picture as a coach, like, you see it with some programs like Iowa in particular, they're kind of go out and trying to get, just big names and trying to pull them in. Same thing with Penn State. Is it maybe big picture kind of take away from that development that, most of the time that's what coaching wrestling is about as well. So I guess just talking about the transfer portal and maybe your guys' thoughts on that.
I think personally, I think the transfer portal is a good thing. I think it gives kids the opportunity if maybe they pick a school that just wasn't right for them in the beginning. I think it's good. I think it's good for them that they have the opportunity to pursue something else. You never want to hold a kid hostage or anything like that, but it doesn't change my perspective. And I think Coach Marsden would probably say the same thing. No matter what, if you get a transfer that's an All-American, you still got to develop them. Even if it's national champ, you got to develop character. You got to identify to make sure it's a kid that'll fit into your program, fit into your core values. And so I don't think it changes much on our end. You still got to develop, and you still got to find the right kids, and that's what we're about. Whether it's a transfer or a high school recruit, identifying the best kids that are going to fit our profile and fit into our system.
For sure. You guys had a lot of kids, maybe not a lot. I mean, I think a lot of the kids that left Oklahoma before you guys got there, I think most of them were graduates, except I think for Wyatt Henson. And then there was a few guys I think that committed when Roselli was there, and then decommitted. But, you kind of had some kids leave, but that just, I think, just kind of from afar looking at your guys' coaching staff, and then obviously what I think Oklahoma has to offer. I feel like, you guys kind of have to be excited, right? Like you guys almost have not necessarily a clean slate, but, kind of just a fresh start where you can kind of bring in this new perspective. But, maybe just touch on that a little bit. Like what, I think you kind of already did, but like, what are you looking for exactly in kids coming in? What kind of culture are you trying to build now at Oklahoma State now that you guys are there? Sorry, Oklahoma.
So I would say, our values are culture is number one. We believe we got to bring the right guys to the program for the right reasons. And I think there's a great opportunity here at Oklahoma to continue to bring in high-level guys with high character, high values. That's what we look at the most. There's going to be talented wrestlers, and you can develop wrestlers, and you can work hard and put them on the podium and reach their goals, but you got to do it the right way. And I believe that's what we're striving for at Oklahoma.
Thanks for not jumping down my throat on that, man. It was a little Freudian slip. Coach Marsden, I wasn't expecting you to be on the podcast, and now I'm thinking Oklahoma State. So thanks for not jumping down my throat on that.
Oh, no worries. I didn't expect to be on this either.
Well, I mean, in my head, I was thinking, I was like, dude, like, how is he going to be on the podcast and drive at the same time? But I was like, dude, wait, how is the car moving? Like, you got this thing on autopilot or what? But I guess it's a good thing you came on.
I'm just showing my multitasking skills here. I don't approve it, though, please.
Well, you know, I guess you guys kind of already touched on this. When you think about, you know, just generally, like, what is your coaching philosophy? I mean, you guys have had just multiple different coaches that I'm sure have had impact on your life. Can you talk about maybe some of those coaching influences that you guys have had?
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of going back to my roots, my old club coach, Ryan Kringley, tech team in Fargo, North Dakota, producing really, really high level wrestlers. Jared Franek, Scotty Schiller, the Shear brothers, myself, the Lehman brothers were out of there as well, Tommy Walton, et cetera, kind of the list goes on. And just using those values that he instilled in me, and using kind of his coaching philosophy to help establish myself as a coach. That's a huge influence on my life. And then my father as well was my high school coach. And he's those same values. Just goes back to being a good person, treating people the way you want to be treated, and working hard for what you want. Nothing's going to be given to you, and that's what we're doing at Oklahoma. We've been on the road a lot. Me and this guy right here, we're hunting down the best kids we can find in the state, and working hard and showing people our work ethic and our character. And that's the big thing: character and work ethic for me.
I had the opportunity to be coached by some great coaches through club and high school and of course in college, and also being moving around, coaching at different programs with different head coaches. So I had the opportunity to learn different philosophies instead of just what I've learned in the past and keep growing, keep adapting. And you know, I just want to learn and choose what's best. But kind of touch what Cam was saying is, you know, it's really all about that culture is really important. That's really stuck out to me with all these programs. You really got to build a solid foundation to reach your goals.
Sweet. Yeah, no, I think sometimes, like, you know, I mean, I went to a smaller school, but I think sometimes looking at bigger schools, there's sometimes a vibe that, you know, it becomes more of a job. And I understand it's Division I wrestling. And, you know, I think to a large extent, you know, if you're getting a scholarship, it can be kind of, can be kind of like that. But, you know, definitely the vibe that, you know, I think you guys are kind of giving off is that you care definitely a lot about the athlete and developing them as people. And, you know, it's not just, I guess, as a job. It seems like you actually guys, you know, are genuine and care about them.
Absolutely. That's the first thing. Coach Kish preaches that all the time. You win with people and you win with good people. Something unique that we did at North Dakota State that we plan on bringing here.
Is he breaking up for you?
Dinner, going golfing, et cetera. But just kind of meet with the guys, getting to know them more on a personal level, and just so they trust us when they're out on the mat. They know we care about them as a person, not just as a wrestler. And we want them to win on the mats, but we want them to win in the classrooms. We want them to win in their social life, and then long after their time is done at the University of Oklahoma, we want them to be winning in life and have them prepared to be good husbands, good fathers, and hopefully, I think everyone's goal is to get a good job right away and hopefully make a bunch of money. Yeah,
I guess that's what it's about. You know, kind of just talking about that, like with NIL. I mean, NIL wasn't really there, you know, when you guys were competing. Now as a coach, when you talking to these recruits and talking with guys on your team, you know, I guess what's your perspective on NIL and you know, just kind of when you're trying to recruit guys, you know, is that something that you guys have put a lot of thought into? Because I know some programs are kind of not really pushing for that.
Oh, it's I believe it's a great opportunity for the athlete to provide for himself and give himself a head start in the future. And programs are able to do that is advantage. I think that's mostly protecting them, but helping the student athlete. Student athlete comes first. So I think it's a great opportunity for them.
For sure. I think it's good for the student athlete. If it's in the right way. If NIL is being used how it's supposed to be, if they're going out and they could get brand deals off of their name with a local dealership or I don't know, AutoZone or something, for example, I think it's good. If they're doing the work and not just getting handed a bag of cash per se, I think it's good. They can go make some money and doing it in the right way. Because in the real world, no one's just going to hand you a bag of cash. You're going to have to go work for it.
Yeah, I think that's been, my buddy Carl and I, we kind of talk about that a lot. It's like one of those things that I think, as an athlete, I think it's fantastic, and I think it's just as a fan, I think it definitely makes it exciting. But I can't imagine being a college coach right now, especially at, maybe a mid-major school, and developing a guy and then see them go. And I think, on one hand, it's, like you said, it's like, it's good for them and you want to see them, make money and do well, because competing in college full time is hard, and it's not something that you're probably going to feed yourself very well. Like it's hard, but as a coach, I don't know. I would get kind of frustrated, man. It would be pretty frustrating.
For sure, and I agree. I think hopefully in the near future, hopefully there's some more rules in place with this whole NIL thing right now. I think it's kind of the wild west. Right now, but going forward, I hope that there is some more rules in place. So you don't see the smaller programs getting poached all the time.
Yeah. What do you guys think about the new rule set coming in? Just like with the 3-point takedown, the beard thing, I don't think was that big of a deal. Like, because I know they put it in the last couple of years, but I feel like it wasn't really like. I mean, this is maybe like the length, that people would talk about. But you guys were rocking, Sykora, you were rocking a full beard at one point, man. And I'm pretty sure that was before they had like the inch rule.
Yeah, for sure. I personally, I love the new rules. I think it's going to create more scoring. Not just on the feet either. I mean, they added another near fall as well. There's a 2, a 3, a 4-point near fall. Riding time is still a thing. So you still have the mat wrestling. And yeah, it's just going to create more scoring opportunities. And everybody is always in a match this way. You could take a guy down. If you're down 7-1, you take him down to his back. You're in a tied match at that point. So it's good for the sport. I think I'm excited to see the new rule set.
I haven't done the math myself, but I think I heard Bo Nichols say you can tech a guy with 7 takedowns now. I don't know if anybody's done the math on that.
I'm not too quick with the math, but I do like 3-point. Like I say, you're going to see really. I think you'll see a lot of aggressiveness early on to get the first takedown to build your lead. It's much easier to build a lead with 3-point takedown.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things that makes freestyle such a great product right now is you are never safe in freestyle. You have to wrestle. You have to wrestle the whole time. If you don't wrestle the whole time, it's very easy to get snake bitten at the end. And to make collegiate in some way, mimicking that same dynamic is great.
Absolutely.
I feel like it might make it tough. Maybe not tough, but just that transition, because in high school it's still a 2-point takedown. In college it gets to be a 3-point takedown, and then if you want to wrestle after college, it goes back to being a 2-point takedown. I don't know. I think part of being a wrestler is being able to adapt. I just think maybe from a fan's perspective, it can get kind of confusing.
Match management might be different. I mean, I don't want to get too much into the weeds, but obviously a takedown with short time and a ride out's huge, right? Now, I mean, is it as important? Is riding time as important? We'll see. We'll see what the smarter coaches figure out. Have you guys thought about match management and what a 3-point takedown means in terms of match management?
Oh yeah. We're I don't want to give our secrets away, I guess.
Yeah.
We're already attacking it with our guys, and same fundamentals of wrestling apply. Hold position. If you can't get taken down, you're going to win a lot of matches. Defense wins, and go find a takedown, ride a guy out, and get away on bottom. You're going to win a heck of a lot of wrestling matches.
Who do you guys have run your RTC now? I think it was it Heflin before?
Yep. I'm not sure who was previously running it before us. But we're as a whole, we're in the RTC every day. All our whole coaching staff is. So.
Are you guys thinking about competing at all in the future?
Personally,
Yeah, personally. Yeah.
go choose a long time ago.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I guess I have a bet with one of our athletes, DJ Parker. If he's an All-American, he'll be redshirting this next year. But if he's an All-American, I guess I have to strap on time. But if I'm too old, I don't know. We'll see.
What weight would you wrestle? Because I mean, next year is an Olympic year. So if you end up trying to compete, what weight are you gonna wrestle?
Well, I walk around at about 145 pounds, so I'm a tweener. I don't know.
That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
That's a big cut to 57 though.
Yeah, I would probably be a 57 kg guy, but I don't know. My freestyle chops aren't as good as my folk style skills, so I think my shoes will stay hung up like Coach Marsden.
I remember, I think I was out that tournament, but you guys came and wrestled at the Roadrunner Open, and you wrestled my buddy Chance Rich, and I just remember you were going, I think, figure 4 right, and he just could knock it out. You kind of touched on it a little bit, but I think what is your personal philosophy when it comes to wrestling, and especially in the top position?
Yeah, Chance. I wrestled Chance twice in college. Actually, he's a great kid, phenomenal wrestler. I don't know. Get my philosophy on top is break the guy down. Get to the wrist. Ride guys. Ride hard. Right. Don't allow guys to hang out in their base position. Get them flat. Look to attack wrists and look to score. Don't just look to ride. When you're just looking to ride, it's boring. And B, it gets you tired, right? Look for those turns, and you're gonna open up a match a lot, right? So I'm a big cross wrist guy, so that's my philosophy, and I think Coach Marsden's is the same. He was pretty darn good on top in college too.
When you guys go like outside the room, and you're talking about trying to build that culture, I guess what are some things that you guys do outside the wrestling room that you try to kind of build that team chemistry? And maybe what have you done at North Dakota State, and then coming to Oklahoma? I mean, I know you guys are still, relatively new there, but what are some things that you're kind of trying to do right now just to meet the guys and try to build that camaraderie and basically that teamwork?
I just believe you do the small things with your athletes. Don't be a coach that you only see at practice. Be involved. After school or after practice. Hey, what are you up to? We got a ping pong table. Let's get a couple games in. Or, hey, you hungry? Let's go grab a meal together. Just really talk, sit down, and figure out, what your values are, what gets you going, what motivates you. Just really start building those relationships and really get a real deep dive on those. So to me, it's just doing the small things, as grabbing a meal or going to the lake as a team, whatever it may be. Just be involved and be 100% bought in when you're there. Don't be playing on your phone. Don't be wishing you're somewhere else. Your team's here. The individuals here. You're taking time off to build that relationship. You got to put a lot of effort. You get what you get out of it in anything, especially relationships.
For sure. Do you feel like you have trouble right now with just guys being on their phones all the time?
Yeah, I'm a victim of it too. Coach Cam gets on me all the time playing on my phone. So I was phoneless for about a week, and that was probably the best thing for me. I noticed that the sky was blue, and just put it down and started getting to work. I think I picked up the book. but yeah, phones they are what they are. It's part of today's world. So use them. That's what they're there for. But it's all right to put them down and venture out new skills and new things you want to try.
Yeah, I'm always trying to get on Coach Franciotti. He's always like day trading because we coach a high school team together, and he's always on his phone. He's always talking about the market. Are you guys in? I'm stealing your question, Carl. Are you guys into that stuff?
I mean, not me.
No, should be though.
I'm not into any day trading or anything like that. I'm not. I do have a business degree, but yeah, I don't know if the day trading thing's for me. I'll stick to the wrestling side.
Giving away my secrets.
Dude, there's no secrets. That's just what you do. I'm just calling you out, man.
Appreciate that.
What, Coach Marsden, you say you're reading a book. What book are you reading right now?
I actually picked up Atomic Habits. I was recommended many times, so haven't started yet, but I purchased it and I'm really excited to get it open.
What was that? It was called Atomic Habits?
Yes.
Atomic Habits. I'm gonna look into that. What are you reading right now, Brian?
Right now, I'm reading a couple things. I'm reading this book. Well, I told you, dude, now I'm blanking on his name. This is the head coach of the Bulls and the Lakers, Phil Jackson. I'm reading a book right now about Phil Jackson. And just being a master of Zen, which sometimes, I mean, I don't know why. It's just sometimes I get pretty fired up. I feel like I'm a pretty chill guy outside the mat, but you put me in a wrestling situation, I get pretty into it pretty quickly. I'm reading that, and then I'm reading this book called The Rookie, which actually they made a movie out of it. I didn't realize it was based on a true story.
Was it really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
Dennis Quaid. It used to be called, I think it was The Old Rookie. And then when they made it into a movie, they changed the book name into The Rookie. But that's pretty good. Pretty good so far.
Coach Sykora, you in anything right now?
I've read Atomic Habits, just like Coach Marsden. That's probably one of my favorite books, I guess. Not currently. I've been pretty darn busy, but I do enjoy reading. Atomic Habits, Mamba Mentality are some of my favorite ones. I like reading about the mind, the sports psychology side of stuff. So those are some things that I like. Pick up a lot of stuff from Joe Rogan's podcast, some different authors that he has on there. So definitely once I'm on the road next time, try to find a Rogan podcast and an author on there and try to pick up one of those books.
Are you an Andrew Huberman fan?
What was that?
Andrew Huberman. You ever heard of him?
I don't think so.
Okay. He's like in the same
Terrific.
circle as Rogan. He is, I forget what kind of doctor. I want to say
he's a Stanford professor, and then I don't know what he practices.
It's there's a term for like eye doctor, brain doctor. I don't know exactly what that term is, but that's what he does. But he has a podcast. He's been on Rogan, and you talk about psychology and things like that. They're all in the kind of the same sphere. Jordan Peterson, Huberman, they talk together, they cross paths. But yeah, if you're into psychology, if you're into like hacking the body, hacking the mind, give him a Goog, give me YouTube, Andrew Huberman.
There you go. There's my next book.
There you go.
I feel like, with some of these podcasts, like Huberman talks about it a lot, but just the importance of recovery. I don't know. I see like some of these colleges programs, like they have like these really sweet, like recovery rooms. And they talk about recovery a lot. When you guys hear the word recovery, I mean, what do you guys do with your athletes in terms of just trying to get them healthy and trying to get their bodies to recover, especially after a hard workout or when they're cutting their weight?
For sure. Well, I think the first thing is having a good communication with your team trainer. Is definitely the biggest thing. Knowing exactly what's going on with each individual athlete. They're the ones with the degree, so they know what's going on, and just listening to them, right? Not thinking that you're smarter than the system and you're smarter than the athlete. And then just making sure that they're reporting to the rehab, they're doing the things to get healthy. We have some.
Oh no, he's cutting out. This seems like a very important part right here.
Chambers. So yeah, I mean, just making sure that the guys are doing what they need to do to get healthy.
So you cut out for just a second. Did you say hyperbaric chamber? I heard the word chamber. Okay.
Yep, we have one of those.
Nice. So do you guys do a lot of like?
If I ever get too hot down here and I miss home, Coach Marsden said he'll just throw me in there for a little bit, and it'll remind me of Minnesota.
There you go.
It snows a little bit in Oklahoma, doesn't it?
What's that?
Does it snow in certain parts of Oklahoma?
I guess Coach Marsden's the one to ask that. I don't know.
Yeah, it does.
Doesn't it snow in some parts of Oklahoma?
Oh yeah, it gets cold down here, but nothing what we're used to up north.
Yeah, it's a little different. I remember Yeah. So I was born in outside Chicago, and the day that I moved, it was I was in seventh grade, but it was like we just had like one of the worst blizzards we've ever had. But just the ice, and especially like it might warm up a little bit, and then it gets cold overnight, so everything just freezes, and there's ice all over the place. Yeah, I guess that's probably one of the biggest differences in terms of going from Fargo, where it gets super cold, to Norman, where it doesn't. But yeah,
I have
that's a major difference.
I have a question that kind of goes along with recovery. I see a lot of sports psychologists. It's becoming more relevant, especially at the bigger schools. Did you guys have one at North Dakota State? Do you guys have one now at Oklahoma that you plan on using?
Yeah, I believe we have both. I know we had one at North Dakota State. And I do know we have one at University of Oklahoma. So if the resources is there, definitely use them. They can help a lot.
Yeah, I mean, what's your experience with that? I know for us as high school coaches, the mentality, just focusing on the mentality and getting them to enjoy the process and buy in and be disciplined and consistent, all the things that you want out of an athlete. As a high school coach, you kind of have to be also the psychologist. But you guys, you have all these resources at your fingertips. How is it with that sports psychologist in your team? How do you see the effectiveness of it?
I think they definitely can benefit you a ton. I mean, exactly what you just said. They can help you with the mind, right? The mind is probably the most critical thing when it comes to sports, in my opinion. Learning the exact science of what's going to make each individual perform at their highest level, because everybody's a little bit different, right? So finding those sweet points for each individual, what they need, what's going to get their mind right. And make them compete at the highest level.
I was listening to an interview with a wrestler from another school. I don't know if I should mention their school or not, but he had a big transition this year. The last couple of years, he was a blue chip recruit. He wasn't quite getting the results he wanted. And he said one of the turning points came actually when his sports psychologist kind of challenged him. She actually did it in maybe a more unconventional way. She actually told him that he was wasting his potential, which like kind of was a dagger at his heart. And I didn't talk to him after that. Didn't talk to him for like 6 months or something like that. So you just kind of left hanging with this thing over his head. Like, what does she mean? But it was a big turning point in his wrestling career. And after that, he took third in the NCAAs, and he had a good postseason at the Open. But he really gave her a lot of credit in that jump. And it wasn't just her. He said, coaching obviously had to do with it. But he gave her a lot of credit in that big jump. And I feel like you see that more commonly throughout the whole landscape of the NCAAs, where coaches are bringing a sports psychologist with them on the road. And so, just kind of diving deeper, that's just something I'm really interested in.
Absolutely. No, it's in my opinion, like I said, it's probably the biggest uphill battle is making sure the mind's right? College wrestling is extremely long and grueling. So making sure if you have that resource, use it, right? To make sure it's going to benefit you in the long run. You got to keep your mind right. Once the mind goes, the body goes. So.
Yeah, I feel like one of the challenges of being a college coach is just making sure you guys are, your guys are doing the right things off the mat. Have you guys had like maybe any unique challenges where you've had to deal with guys that maybe weren't doing the right things, and maybe have had to have those tough conversations with them to kind of get them back on the right path? And I guess what became of that?
Well, I guess every individual is different. They all have different battles they're facing, if it's physical, mental. I guess all you can do is be there, be supportive, give them what they need. I know, you can't really rely on what your experience was because everyone has a different experience. So I guess it's like being supportive and trying to help as much as possible in the way it's given.
Just like you said, just being there for them in good times and in bad times. Right, we're all human. We all make mistakes. So just helping them grow into good, fine young men. I think everyone's had a struggle in their life where they probably made a mistake. Just making sure you're there. I think that's the biggest thing. Make sure that they know that you're there for them, and you're going to help them through their challenges and their battles.
Do you guys? So I'm really big in like playing games in the wrestling room. Do you guys play any games at all?
Oh yeah.
What games do you play?
Football, wiffle ball, handball. What's the dodgeball game that you like, Marsden?
A little solo dodgeball.
Solo
Yeah.
dodgeball.
Like free for all, like a free for all dodgeball.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, free for all dodgeball. I like all solo. That's when the old competitor comes out of me.
We so we'll play a free for all, and every time we play, it de-evolves into these factions of groups. There'll be like 7 or 8 kids who kind of gang up, and another group of 7 or 8 kids. You guys kind of get that de-evolution in the free for all, or they truly play free for all?
They play free for all.
I play free. Well, obviously, you got some guys that got a little alliance you see here and there.
Yeah.
Typically, I think everyone's pretty selfish and really wants to, get the job done. But I'm not very good, but I try like hell sometimes.
Yeah.
But if I see an alliance, I try to put it on. I make my own alliances too, right?
They come after
they
the
gang
coaches
up on
the
you?
hardest. We're the first ones they want to get out every time.
Yep. Absolutely.
Carl will kind of do this thing where like he'll pretend like he's not playing, and then at the end he's like somehow playing.
That's not true at all. That is
No,
not
you do
true.
that all the time.
No
He's
way.
he's the biggest
You want to
cheater.
get
That's
in
what he's
late,
known
too?
for.
No way.
Yep. Join the game late. You can. Hey, there's only a couple guys left. That's when I jump in.
Yeah, that's right.
How do you guys play wiffle ball in the room though? I feel like I would be too afraid like a kid's gonna hit a ball into like a light or like a window or something like that.
Well, we got a little modified, like a foam roller. I'm just getting introduced to it. They're showing me their games here, and man, I learned I'm not a good fielder. That's the reason why I wrestled. I did wrestle in the off season.
How big's the room? Is it 3 mats?
Four full mats.
Okay, you
It's-
guys got some space.
It's four like is it four like stacked on each other? Like a big square?
Nope,
They're
in a
row.
row.
Okay.
Yep. Long room.
Long room. Do you guys have like aerodynes and conditioning equipment on the side as well? Cubbies and all that?
Yep,
They get
behind
full
the
thing.
right behind the wrestling room, there's a little wall. There's a little seating area. So yeah, we have a bunch of aerodynes, treadmills, some dumbbells, spin bikes, a couple Versa climbers, a couple row machines. So yeah, it's pretty darn nice.
The Versa Climber, the legendary
Oh, yeah.
Versa Climber. You ever get on that thing?
I have in college a couple times. That was if you showed up to a lift late, which I did once. I learned that the hard way my freshman year. I never did it again. You get to go on the Versa Climber for the
We're gonna
whole
have to
lift.
invest in the Versa Climber, Brian. That thing is torture.
Yeah, that thing is torture. They're hard.
I feel like they gotta be expensive though. I'm not sure if I want to put down money for that or we'll be able to afford that, Carlo. But what'd you guys have at NDSU in terms of like mat space and
We had 2.5 full mats, and we had a really nice cardio area in the back as well. A little auxiliary weight room as well. Aerodynes, spinner bikes, treadmill. Yeah. So we had a very nice cardio area. They take care of you at North Dakota State.
I feel like four mats is almost too big in a wrestling room. Like I feel like, if you're on the one end, it's kind of hard to see what the guys at the far end are doing. So would you guys like maybe put on like 3 mats, or do you do like a split room or use like a partition or anything?
The far end, that's the heavyweight room. That's deep waters. That's Coach Marsden.
It always is, isn't it? Yeah.
So yeah, we do a good job. Our whole staff walking around helping everywhere. So yeah, it's nice. You have a lot of space, so guys aren't running into each other or anything like that. But I think we do a pretty good job of controlling the room, even though that it is a bigger room.
So they're allowing schools this year to get a 4th coach on staff, correct? A 4th paid position.
Correct.
I'm ignorant. So it's you, Coach Marsden, Coach Kish. Who's the 4th coach?
That I don't know if that's something we can talk about right now until it is.
Try to get the
released,
juice.
But,
You tried.
treading lightly on that one. But
Okay.
it is,
Any
it is-
hints?
it is
Any
somebody
hints?
very, very good.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Like somebody that's like a coach right now, or they were just competing.
I can't give any hints away on that one, guys.
Okay. When
All right.
can you tell us like when we know who the 4th guy is going to be?
Very, very soon.
Okay. Fair enough.
I respect his ability to keep his mouth shut. Not many people have that ability to not even give a hint, not even a hint of the juice.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, I feel like it's one thing, if we were just talking, like that'd be a little bit different. But if like we have 151 subscribers, so like 151 people might know on YouTube that you spilled the beans, and we got proof. So
Yeah,
it's a little bit different.
I wish I could tell you guys, but I know the University of Oklahoma is going to be very, very excited when they find out who it is, and the country will as well.
That's awesome. How about this? Are they still able to compete at a high level? Like, I'm just thinking like workout partner for the kids.
Oh yeah. This dude can straight up scrap every single day.
Nice. That's always good to have. That's Brian for me. He's my straight up scrap every day guy. I'm getting old.
Man, part of me wants to start taking guesses, but I don't want to do that to you. So it's fine.
Oh, he doesn't want to spill the beans, Brian.
we can talk about it after, Carlo, when this is over.
We'll speculate later.
Is this? How about say this? So when this guy comes on, is he going to be a part of the bachelor pad?
Maybe we'll see. I'm out of the bachelor pad in a week, so Coach Kish's family moves down, and then I'll have my own spot. My girlfriend will be moving down as well, so the bachelor pad will be no longer.
You guys are talking about this is gonna be a weird tangent. You guys are talking about a foam roller, and I'll explain why. I'll explain a story you guys might enjoy after. You guys know Lorenzo De La Riva, right?
Oh, one of my best friends. Guy will be in my wedding one day.
Yeah, I love that guy. He's funny. Yeah, we were teammates for a little bit, and then he transferred. Has he ever told you the story about how he got into a fight over a foam roller?
No, I don't think so.
So that was like right before his last year. We had a guy on our team. I'll say his name. It's fine. His name's Dylan. And Dylan was kind of messing around with the foam roller, and he was going just kind of touching people with it. And Lorenzo comes in, and he's a little sore because we had hard lift that day. And he's like, "Bro, can I have the foam roller?" Actually, I don't even think he asked. I think he just said, "Give me the foam roller." And Dylan, just didn't like his tone. And it's like, "Nah, I ain't giving you the foam roller." And he kept going. He's like, "I'm using it." So he kept hitting people with it. And then it starts to escalate. And I'm kind of off to the side. And like both these guys are my buddies. And for some reason, I was like, I'm just going to let them figure it out. Like I could see kind of where this is going. Because I think if you put Lorenzo in a corner, or put him in a place where, he gets kind of angry, like he might actually, lead to something. And then Dylan's a hothead. So I just didn't want to get hit personally. So I just stepped off to the side. But they're kind of bickering back and forth. And then Manny Rivera walks in and he's like, "What are you guys doing? Like, give me the foam roller." So he takes it and no one gets to use the foam roller. So Lorenzo's pissed and he calls Dylan a name. And Dylan's like, "All right." So he goes up and walks up to him, and they start just throwing hands at each other. And, what ends up happening is Dylan gets kicked off the team. But I was like, dude, like this guy got kicked off team over a foam roller.
That sounds just like Lorenzo.
Yeah, he's funny. I think the last time I saw him, we were at a wedding, and he actually broke my glasses. And we kind of evolved into like not like throwing hands, but like kind of like a jiu-jitsu roll a little bit. But yeah, he's a funny guy.
Does he know
Mike? Does he what?
Does he know jiu-jitsu? For some reason, I thought he knew how to grapple.
I don't know.
He actually runs a moving company out in Colorado with one of my. Well, you guys ever need to move? Hit up Next Gen Moving Company.
Next Gen. It's a good name.
Yeah.
Shout out Next Gen Moving Company.
Yeah, he was selling. I want to say, was it maybe like printers or something like that? And then he ended up moving from California. He was coaching with one of our other buddies, and then I think he's in Colorado right now.
Yep, he's in Windsor, Colorado.
And this was like a startup, I think, with him and I think some of your other buddies too, right?
Yep, him and Nick Knudsen. He wrestled at North Dakota State University and then finished up his career after he graduated for one season at Northern Colorado. So yep, they've had that going for a little over a year now.
Sweet. And then you guys know Michael Otomo too?
Oh yeah, Michael Otomo. I was talking to him today. He's doing my home insurance.
Nice. Yeah, he's doing some camps out there in Minnesota. But he was like one of those guys. So I did J-Rob I worked the camp the last year that they had it. And he just was like happened to be in town. And I kind of like knew him a little bit just because we wrestled mutual guys. And we had a couple common friends, but he's a super, super nice guy. And I didn't really know him super well, but we just started talking. And it's like one of those guys that, you kind of just become friends with right away. But super, super nice dude. I got to get him on here.
Yeah, he's a man. Odomo's a great human being. I can't wait to get him down to Oklahoma for a duel here come winter time.
Heck yeah. Do you guys, we're kind of getting to the end here, but do you guys have any camps coming up this summer?
I believe our camps have already been done for this summer. I'm not 100% on that. A lot of moving parts here still.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, hey, what do you guys have coming up next? What's going on? Is there anything, other than this new hire? Now we're going to kind of talk, Carl and I, after this is over. But I guess what's next for Oklahoma and what's next for you guys?
Next for us is keep hitting the recruiting trail, keep building the relationship with Oklahoma, and bring the best guys in the state. That's what I got next year.
Yep. Keep hitting the road with my big guy and keep cultivating these relationships within the state. Make Oklahoma kids want to wrestle for the University of Oklahoma.
Now I know
awesome.
You guys aren't allowed to probably say a name, but what's the highest number recruit that you guys are currently going after? Who you guys got your eyes on in terms of number?
Gosh, I guess I don't follow the recruiting boards that closely, but a lot of good ones. There's a lot of good ones in this state, and a lot of them are unsigned. So
okay,
a lot of really, really good ones from all over the state of Oklahoma.
right on. Good luck with that, guys.
I appreciate it.
All right, guys. Hey, well, thanks for coming on. I appreciate you guys coming on, especially, after an inconvenience, and then now you guys are doing it on the phone in the car. That's awesome. But
you guys,
it was good.
Respect.
Yeah, good to talk to you guys.
Both you guys.
No problem. Thanks for having us on, guys.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Yeah. Keep
Thank
hustling.
you. Later.
They're gone.